everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing fine on this Saturday morning. It's a lovely day. The sun is shining. Let us tap right in. See what Spirit would like to share with us this morning. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy, please. Central energy, we've got the Ten of Wands. A heavy burden, a completion of this burden. There is an end in sight from maintaining too much responsibility and stress. Challenged by the Hanged Man. Challenged by letting it go, releasing it. You've been carrying this burden for so long, and you've been managing it so well that it's just been a part of your existence. And so you've been accustomed to it. It may have become something that is just like that arthritic hip that you can't do anything about, so you just deal with it. But there's an opportunity to release that, to manage it in a way, and so your challenge is to let it go. To let it go, to take care of it, to mend it, to release it. Arthritic hip might not have been the best example, you know, unless you have the technology to regenerate soft tissues, which I do believe our government has. In the subconscious, we have the Chariot in the upright. You gain a victory over this. So you are able to release whatever this is. You are able to mend whatever it is in your life that is keeping you in this burden. You're able to release it and gain a victory over it. In the recent past, whoa, sorry there, boy. Oh my goodness, whack-a-doodle. The Emperor reversed. Domineering tyrant, a control freak, who has a personal lack of discipline and yet wants to tell everybody else what to do, behaving recklessly. Intentions and expectations. Hierophant reversed. They're a hypocrite. They're adhering to their own personal beliefs. They don't really have a belief system that they're adhering to. It's their own made up thing. Unconventional. In the near future, Seven of Wands. Challenge, standing up for yourself. Persevering. The lens that's being looked through. Two of Wands. Leaving home. Making decisions. In the environment. We've got the Five of Wands reversed. An end to the conflict. Agreeing to disagree. Hopes and fears. Two of Swords. Stagnation. Difficult decisions. Stalemate. Deadlock. Avoidance. There's no compromise. And the outcome? Ace of Wands. New beginnings. New beginnings, new projects, and growth. And a Three of Wands. A moving forward. Freedom. With the Page of Wands, freedom from conflict, and a moving into the rewards of the fruits of your labor are the rewards that you're moving into. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. Ten of Wands. Personality. The challenge is releasing it. Releasing the burden of competition. Releasing the burden of competition. So this personality is in a Ten of Wands, and they're challenged by releasing the burden of competition. There is a victory here. We have limited perception. Reckless, dominant, Emperor reversed. Controller, stubborn tyrant who has no love. They're a hypocrite, Hierophant reversed. It's all about personal beliefs. So they were, forcing others to conform to their own ideals, but they themselves have a lack of discipline, and so they were trying to force everybody to come into alignment with their own ideals, which lacked discipline. So they were forcing people to be disciplined to something that had no discipline, basically. Blind faith. There's no backstory to whatever it is that they had going on, whatever belief system they had set up. There's no history behind it. It's a personal belief. You've been holding your own, standing up for yourself. During this communication, being driven by, it could be that they sent mental demons to cause fighting and warring within your mind. So they were using divination to target you, to drive you into a state of communication that was combative. And they were using these tools to do it. So they were stripping you of your free will, forcing you to behave in a way that wasn't in alignment with your own personal beliefs, but you held your own, you stood your ground, you were able to maintain yourself through that challenge. There could be a leaving home, making travel plans, tribe, a tribe, ancestry, family with some really bad habits and habitual patterns. They want to agree to disagree, but there's no compromise because there's a stagnation. There's this avoidance. So they don't want to fight anymore. Home. They may have lost their home. They may be homeless. So they don't want to fight anymore because they've lost their stability. So they don't have a stable place to fight from. So now they want to make up. There's a lot of thinking that needs to happen here. A lot of consideration. There's no compromise. It's a stalemate. Teacher in the reverse. They're unteachable. Their teachings failed. Whatever their personal lack of personal discipline, yet they had their own personal beliefs with this Hierophant in the reverse. It had no history, no backstory, no credibility. And they were forcing people to be disciplined within an undisciplined system, with an undisciplined ruler who had no love in them. And they were using these darker divination tools to drive the minds and cause volatile communications. The outcome is an Ace of Wands in the upright. So the invisible is made visible. You're no longer haunted. They can no longer haunt you with these darker divination spiritual practices, with the Ouija board and all of that. They can't haunt you anymore. They are not a creator. They can't create anything. All they can do is destroy. We got compass. So there's a compass. So somebody, for these bodies, for addicted bodies. So addicted bodies that are addicted are going one way. They have a pathway. So there's addictions, right? And then there's the utilization of medicines, right? Some people, in fact, the majority of people, think of medicine as a synthetic offering from your practitioner. And if you happen to use herbology, then they look at you as though they completely discount the credibility of plant medicine. And so they look at you and anything that you do in that account as though it's unwarranted, unnecessary, and not natural. Isn't that weird? They look at synthetic medicines as the thing, and they look at natural medicines as unnatural. It's so weird. And if you use them, then they look at you as though you are somehow insufficient, when in actuality it's just twisted. It's this twisted weird belief of backwardism. I don't know. You're a sovereign being, and it's prophesied that you're coming into a leadership role. The promise was made. It was made, and your kin knew about it, and they wanted to take you out because they wanted that role. They painted you as some horrible person while they were doing horrible things to you because they wanted your role, this snake. Whoever this Emperor Hierophant reverse is, they're a snake. Personality. Working under cover of religion against wholesome, loving unions. They're warring against love. They want obedience, not love. They want fear, not freedom. They want you always doing this with each other, not embracing. They want you to put those who want to embrace you in a 10 of Wands. And they want you to laugh about it. It gives them pleasure. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. Personality, false person. Personality, false person. So this is the completion of the cycle where you are in a 10 of Wands caused by this personality, actor, false person, Emperor reversed, hypocrite reversed. Hierophant reversed, hypocrite. This is a completion of your cycle. You're challenged because you have been in this burden for so long. You've become accustomed to managing it. It's become part of your daily habitual pattern, managing this challenge. And so now your new challenge is releasing it. Releasing the competition. You've been engaged for so long with these false people or this false person, and you've been carrying this burden for so long. It has become a habitual pattern. But you've gained a victory over this, and so it's time to release it. It's time to let it go. Peel it off of you. Shed it like an old skin. It's no longer necessary. Take a spiritual bath. Flush the waters of the system. Maybe go on a fast. Pray. Meditate. Sit quietly. Mow the lawn. Go for a Sunday drive. Chill. Thief. You've got to release this thief. The competition that this thief has been bringing you, this false person, personality, Emperor reversed, Hierophant reversed, forcing people to be disciplined to a system that lacks discipline. Pathway. You've gained a victory. Your pathway is clear. You've gained a victory over those with limited perception, these false people. They did not understand what they were messing with. They did not really understand what they were doing. They thought they knew. A tyrant, reckless, controlling, dominator, doesn't have any love, wants to dominate this privileged lady, hates her with a passion. This privileged lady could be the feminine. It could be the Eve, okay? The original beauty that rejected whoever this person who decided to be a monster is. Did she say no and his ego got bent out of shape and he decided he was going to crush the feminine? Did he decide that she had no value because she didn't value him in this energy as a dominator, control freak, lack of discipline, but yet he wants to dominate everybody else recklessly, ruthlessly, based on their own personal beliefs? It has nothing to do with history, nothing to do with anything. A person who lacks discipline, forcing others to be disciplined to a system that has no discipline. Privileged lady, child. Okay, so privileged lady is innocent. And you've got this tyrant who's into their own dream world and forcing their environment to conform to it. Utilizing the Ouija board and perhaps other dark practices to drive the minds and the emotional body of people into a communication which was combative, challenging, not peaceful. They don't get a wish fulfillment on the distant horizons. They don't get to go on a sky ship on the distant horizons. They're not exiting this storyline. But you have held your own divine feminine. You are innocent and you have persevered through extreme challenge that this tribe put you through. This tribe of thieves working with dark spiritual practices. Lovers. Are leaving home. There's a separation between those who have no love within them and those who are love. There's an ending to the conflict and agreeing to disagree. Somebody doesn't have a home. They've lost their home. Somebody's not in despair. Somebody doesn't want to be in despair. There's a stalemate, a stagnation, thinking before making a decision. There's choices here, avoidance. There's these people teach this kind of stuff. They are the teachers that fight and war and cause suffering and pain for those who love. And so they are at a crossroads. They are at a stalemate. No teachers of this kind of business are coming into the new beginning. There's got to be a separation between those who hate love and those who love. You know, those who use love to get financial gain, and then as soon as they gain that, they leave it because they shit all over it because it was never about love in the first place. There's going to be a change. The old teachings aren't moving forward. The old teachings are not moving forward. We're not bringing those forward. There's the urge to create great fortune and sudden wealth. Those who have great love and light within them are ready to go. You've all probably got these wonderful ideas inside of you that you've been dreaming about for so long, and you may have even been like, you know, in the dream state or in your meditative state, or even when you're just moving around the house in the background, in the how your computer does it, like in the background you've got these apps running in the background. So in the background of your hybrid, you know, humanized processing transmitter receiver unit, in the background of everything else that's operating in the forefront, you've got your dreams, your intentions, your expectations, your what are you going to do with your sudden wealth. You know, how are you going to apply it? What are you going to do? How are you going to beautify your surroundings? How are you going to uplift the environment so that others get to enjoy it? How is that going to please you when you see somebody walking by your tree, plucking a fruit off of it and just thoroughly enjoying it while they're in a lovely conversation with somebody they love? You know, and it's just like these wonderful things that you can add to the environment that will bring so much pleasure, you know? So in the background of your system here, and you've got an app running called what? What does my new earth look like? What does my new earth look like? What does my new world look like? What does the new earth look like to me? How am I going to contribute to it? What are my fantasies? What do I see the animals doing? How can I contribute to their upliftment and embetterment? You know, how are we going to purify the waters? You know, what systems can we put in there to ensure that the waters, the life that requires and depends upon these waters, how are we going to get together and clean up that environment, you know? I mean, this is what we have to do because the previous cycle didn't give two licks about it. And we were in a state, a lower vibrational state to where and then we were like watching the TV, you know? Well, most people were. You got marriage here. We've got invisible in the reverse. We've got haunted in the reverse. And we've got bohemian in the reverse. So everything that was invisible, everything that was being done in the shadows is out. Everybody can see it. The hauntings, these kind of driven things here, these hauntings that have been going on in the minds of the people, those are going to stop. We've got marriage on the bottom of the deck and courtship. So whoever that is may be thinking of you. And there's a message of concern for this tribe, this false person, this Hierophant Emperor reversed. Their toil and labor to try to get into the house only got them into the big house, the hokey pokey. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. So it's a completion of this cycle. These personalities, these actors, these false people, yeah, so this is a completion of this 10 of Wands for you. Your values are not about money. You've got a personality here who is a false person, and their challenge is, or your challenge is, releasing them. You've got to release the competition. You've got to make the sacrifice. You've been carrying the load and the burden of these people. They've been spending your spiritual inheritance. Okay, they've been attacking you in the spirit and stealing your wealth and loading themselves up here in the 3Ds. You know, fancy me, I'm so tough, I can go take out a dreamer. Child, yes, and look at me, I'm so big and fancy. But they have a limited perception. They're unworthy. Limited perception. I mean, even in the upright, this is a limited perception, but it's in the reverse. They don't even have that. It's like all it's based on a personal belief, on some sort of a fantasy or some sort of a storyline. I mean, we all have that. Like right in the background, we have our dream. What does our new earth look like? And we build our fantasy. Well, this person built a fantasy, but it was in a darker world, a rigid, stubborn, tyrant world where they can do whatever they want and everybody else has to do whatever they say, and it can change at any time because there's no discipline to anything. So it was this weird free-for-all, basically, with no structure or substance or backstory or history or anything that gave it stability. Forgiveness. They want forgiveness. You've won a victory over this. You've got your chariot and you're on your pathway. You're moving away from this. You got to let it go. Yes, you've been comfortable carrying this burden. Yes, they've been siphoning you. Yes, you've been doing it. But it's time to elevate. It's time to release that and then allow the Most High to fill you up with something more positive, something more beneficial. It's time for your reward. This tyrant feels broken. They have no love in them. This privileged lady is innocent. Or the divine feminine as a collection is innocent. Take it how it resonates. Dang it, I did it again. Okay. So I use the genders that are on the cards to help me with continuity and flow within storytelling. In no way, shape, or form am I trying to be disrespectful to anybody's sense of identity. So please do whatever you need to do with the genders. Thank you. So third party in the reverse. So a privileged lady is innocent. She was never into this kind of a thing. And that could be what happened. In the beginning, this tyrant wanted a third party situation. He wanted to just go do whatever he wanted to do. And this privileged lady, Eve, or whoever you want to call her, said, no, I'm not into that. I'm not going to do that. And so he punished her and did it anyway on her dime. Made her carry the burden in all of her forms throughout this world. Because his ego got hurt. This privileged lady didn't want him. He was a whore. And a cruel, reckless tyrant. Dominator. People are gossiping about this. They're using darker divination practices to drive the mental body into a friction form of communication. But you held your own. You managed this challenge. As brutal as it was, you maintained your dignity as well as you could. This tribe is not telling the truth. They're not telling the truth. They want to reconcile with these lovers. They're not telling the truth. They're lying. They're saying they want to agree to disagree, but that's only because they don't want to be in despair. They don't want to lose their home. Reveal, I want to tell the truth, came out in reverse. They're lying. They're dishonest. And they disagree. See, they're saying here, they're agreeing to disagree. But here, there's disagreements. They're lying. They just don't want to lose their house. They don't want to be in despair. They want you to make everything okay. So they're lying in the hopes that you'll believe them and make it okay. Now, there is some thinking that needs to happen before you make a decision. You're at a stalemate. You're at a crossroads. You don't want these kind of teachings to come forward into your new cycle, into your new beginning. You want to change. You're like, I don't want the same old crap that's been going on. This is bull, and we want to cut it out. We want to change. So you're at a stagnation. You're at a standstill. They're lying to you. They're playing in the shadows. Trying to affect a change, and you don't want to play that game anymore. You've got a great fortune within you. And you're coming into an inheritance, some sort of a reward. You've got an Ace of Wands here. You've got strong willpower and determination. You've got a wonderful dream for your environment, for yourself, for the world. You're no longer invisible. And they can't attack your mental body anymore. They can't drive you. They can't force you to deal with any traveling thoughts coming through the mind. They can't stick it to you because you're going to keep your frequency high. You're going to maintain a high vibration. You're going to maintain positive affirmations of self, and you're going to praise yourself, and you're going to congratulate yourself, and you're going to treat yourself very kindly. And if anything comes through your life that says you deserve anything other than that, you know that's not coming from you or the Most High. And you handle it accordingly. They can't mess with you anymore. You know what's going on. They're not a creator. The only thing they can do is destroy. And once you recognize this and you recognize their talents and methods, then you can move through that. They can't escape. They're not a creator. They can't escape. It's not invisible anymore. Everything is seen. They're no longer able to haunt innocent people. They're no longer able to drive the minds into fear. It's an unexpected outcome for them. They didn't think it was going to go this way, and now they want to mend the connection. I regret neglecting you. The only reason they regret neglecting you is because they're about ready to lose their house, and they're about ready to experience exactly what they forced you to experience. Now they want you to feel sorry for them, but you're detaching. You're detaching. and they're coming at you. Oh no, somebody's coming at you though. You got somebody coming at you who wants to have a family with you. Somebody who actually likes you. Somebody actually likes you. And they actually want to have a family with you. You may have been so accustomed to people just coming up and taking, draining, hurting, sticking, and then so when somebody comes along that actually really does like you, you're like, let's check it out, right? Let's observe. Powers of observation. Completion of a heavy burden. Completion of carrying this 10 of Wands. Your values are not about money. You've been doing some hard work, and you have handled your burden very well regarding these false personalities. Justice is being served. This is the completion of your burden. You're challenged by releasing the competition, this thief who is unworthy. You got to let it go. You've been overloaded for so long. You got to release the burden. It's going to feel really weird, and it's like pulling a tooth, or it's like leaving your phone home, and you go somewhere and you don't have it, and you've been used to looking at it or looking on the computer or communicating or doing this or that, and then you leave the house and you don't have it, and it's like kind of like that, where it bothers you all day. You may have to go back and get it. It's that kind of a thing, you become addicted to carrying something with you, and when you're no longer carrying it, is you feel so your challenge is releasing the burden that this competition of thieves, this tribe of thieves who are still lying to you and they're unworthy. Your challenge is releasing them, letting it go. It's not going to be easy. It will be so uncomfortable, especially when they're sitting here begging you for forgiveness, lying through their teeth, acting like a false person. They're very good at it. Imagination. So their profession is to mess around with the imagination. They're professional mind effers. And they use darker Ouija board practices, spirits, to do it. To drive you into a more confrontational, argumentative state of mind. You have to let them go. You can't bring these teachings forward. They can't come forward. They're unworthy. They can't bring these. You can't bring this stuff forward. It has no place in a world of love. You should be able to trust somebody. When you open your heart and your mind and you share with them, you should be able to trust that they're not going to send some demon to target that hurt, to drive you to some form of self-loathing or whatever, That's what they've been doing. They're facing confinement. They're being unfreedomed. They have no love within them. They're feeling broken and shattered. This dominator, tyrant, he has no discipline. He or she has no discipline. They're stubborn. They're reckless. They're upset because this privileged lady wouldn't do a third party situation. She's innocent. She doesn't want to go do that kind of nasty crap. So they tried to destroy her by putting 10 wands on her and messing with her mind with these Ouija spirits things driving the mental body. And it wasn't just one person. I think it was the feminine as a collective, but it was also the masculine, because the masculine, you know, their inclination is to protect, you know. But this dominator controller who has a lack of discipline and has his own particular beliefs seeded a program into that system. They ran out of time. They failed at their endeavor to dominate that collective field. Hierophant reverse. They were operating on their own personal ideas and thought forms about the way things should be. There's no history to it. There's no background to it. It was their own fantasy. They lacked discipline, and they were forcing everybody to be disciplined to what he said, but he had no discipline. So what he said one day could change the next day, and it would be wrong. So you never knew what was going to be, what was right or what was wrong. You just never knew, and that he liked it that way. Real estate, mega project, investment, wealth. They were coming after the wealth of this privileged lady. They wanted it. They were probably married to her, and they wanted to go out and whore around, and she was like, no. And so what they did was never mind. You apply it to your personal story, how it applies to you. They did what was necessary to drain the real estate, the wealth out of her. They put 10 wands on her and made her suffer, and they extracted all the goodness while they put that heavy burden upon her. So they kept extracting all the goodness while they kept putting this stuff on her. All because she didn't want to be a whore. She was innocent. They want to apologize. But it's a lie. It's not the truth. And it's not just one person, it's a whole tribe of people. They've experienced a loss and they're not okay. So they're lying through their teeth to try to get back into your good graces so that you will make it okay. They're saying they want to agree to disagree. They want peace. But that's only because they don't want to lose their home and they don't want to be in despair. There's dishonesty here and disagreements. They're saying they agree to disagree, but they're disagreeing with that statement. This is a whole lie. They're just trying to protect their asses because they're falling. Yeah. They want to compromise. They're disappointed. It could be that people are cutting them off. Nobody wants to have anything to do with them. You're at a stalemate. You don't want these kind of teachings in your new cycle. You don't want this kind of stuff going on in your new cycle. They're playing in the shadows and you want to change that. No, you don't want to have any of that going on here. We don't need that. Fate. There's difficult decisions being made. Weighing the options. We want to avoid bringing forth mental fuckery into the future. Merit making. Merit making. You've got a great fortune within you. Your light is shining bright. You've got sudden wealth. This could be energy. It could be happiness. Look at this. Look at this. You've got your Ace of Wands here. Okay, these people, they're not creators, they're destroyers, and they can't escape what it is that they have done. They're no longer able to haunt you. Everything that they have done is visible. They were doing rituals against you, messing with your mental body, because you didn't want to have third-party situations. But through that process, you earned a great merit. You held your own. You stood up for yourself. You maintained control. They can't haunt you anymore. They're no longer invisible. They can't escape what they've done. You have been found to be moral and good. The way they tried to paint you, they put their own energy onto you and then called you that. And justice is being served because the truth is seen. On the bottom of the deck, we've got live and learn. Saving, carrying unions and families. There's something significant about loyalty. Loyalty is when they're not even present, yet you know they are with you, supporting you 100%. There's no doubt about it, no question. And it's wonderful knowing that you are merged with such a great love. This collective has such a great love that its members risk their own fields to help each other, their energetic fields, knowing that this is going on. And of their own free will, they step up and out and they help others. And it's so beautiful. And I am so grateful to be aware that these people exist. It is one of my greatest blessings, is this awareness. Because when you're stuck in a 3D world full of this kind of stuff, the world can get really, really tiny and full of misery in a hurry. And when you're immersed in that and being dragged through that while you're carrying 10 wands, it is so very difficult to connect with something greater than, right? And oddly enough, it's the burden which oftentimes brings you back to that. Because it's through the heavy burden that you can recognize when assistance does occur. And there's no doubt that it is happening and that it is existing and that it's the truth. And it doesn't matter what anybody else says about it. It's my testimony. It's your testimony. And when you're connected to the Most High, it's His testimony, because and Divine Mother, of course, because they can see more clearly, as you always can, from a perspective that isn't like in this, state. When you're so embedded and buried by this, it can be a challenge seeing outside of it, So, scholar in the reverse. Scholar in the reverse. So you may have had to carry extra responsibilities without the knowledge of how to help yourself. You were carrying too much, and there was no way that you knew of to help yourself. This thief, their profession was to bring competition to the imagination, to the mind, and your challenge is to release that. They are unworthy of that position in your arena. Servant in the reverse. Your challenge is to release them, to cut off the service. So you were carrying all of this burden, and yet they were siphoning out of you all of that goodness that was making their life better, right? While you carried their burdens. And now your challenge is to release that, to take that yoke off, right? To release that burden, to take the backpack off, that backpack full of rocks, take it off. Stop carrying the damn shit for this thief. Make them carry their own backpack. They're in despair. They don't know what to think about this. They're asking forgiveness. They're facing confinement. You gained a victory, and your pathway is open. You're departing. You're leaving. Friend. You are a friend. You may be traveling with a friend. You may be visiting with a friend, or working with a friend, or being supported by a friend throughout this, helping you gain justice. There is an Emperor reversed here, a controlling dominator tyrant who has no discipline and no love. They're feeling broken and shattered because their illusion has been busted. They couldn't steal from this privileged lady. Hierophant reversed. A hypocrite. Foolish. Targeting the feminine, or at least this one feminine who was innocent because she didn't want to do a third party. She didn't want him she didn't want to share the marital bed with another woman. Or man. Take it as it resonates. He wanted her real estate. But he wanted his girlfriend or boyfriend. He has to go see the doctor. Wants to apologize. Not getting wish fulfillment on the distant horizons. Was using the Ouija board, working with spirits to cause argumentative, perhaps negative self-talk, negative thought forms within the mental bodies of people, driving the mental body, driving the thought forms. This is what I was telling about on the other thing. Every thought that flows through your mind is not yours. It's not. It's a seed trying to get an emotional or energetic response so that they can harvest that energy. You're a lover. Or perhaps you're going to be serenaded by a lover. Maybe somebody will sing to you. Maybe somebody's singing sweet. Oh, you know, and this reminds me, the other night before I went to bed, an old song that I hadn't heard or even thought of in decades came into my mind, and it was so wonderful. And that's what this reminds me of, this lover singing a song. When I need love, I hold out my hand and I touch love. I never knew there was so much love keeping me warm night and day. And there's miles and miles of empty space in between us, or something like that. Anyway, it's a beautiful, beautiful song. And when I heard it, I was shocked because I hadn't heard it in decades or even thought of it. And it was wonderful. And it was like being serenaded by a lover. So thank you to whoever that was. If you're watching, that was wonderful. I really liked it. So you got this tribe here. They're undergoing a loss. They're not okay. They're lying through their teeth, trying to patch things up with you because you're the meal ticket. You're the meal ticket. They lost their dream come true when they came for you. You're the meal ticket, and they lost you. Justice is being served here. Yeah, they're going under a misfortune. They're losing everything. They're losing their house. They're in despair. They're trying desperately to stop this. They need to take part in your fortune. They need your fortune. They thought they could steal it from you, but they failed, and so now they're pleading with you to reconcile because you're the meal ticket. It wasn't good enough that you were sharing with them. They wanted to take it and eliminate you altogether. They're saying they want to compromise, they want to agree to disagree, but they're dishonest, and they're actually in disagreement with that statement. They don't want to be lonely, they're in disappointment, they're losing their home, they're in despair. Consolation. They need consolation. They're in despair. They could be praying to whoever it is they pray to. This dark spiritual driver stuff they got going on in the shadows. It's fate. You're at a deadlock, a stagnation. There's no, this kind of teachings aren't, there's going to be a change. These shadowy teachings that these people have been doing and forcing people to carry this burden like this is ridiculous. So no, there's going to be a change. These teachings don't get to come forward. There's a stagnation. Stop. All stop. Two of Swords, stalemate, difficult decisions. Difficult decisions. We can't continue in this manner. In the house. Can't have this kind of stuff in the house. They're all up in their thoughts about this change. Through carrying this burden, you have earned a great deal of merit. You were ritually attacked and mentally haunted. You were driven into a more combative sense of communicating with people, so they affected your personality. And they were driving you to make you appear as though you weren't who you are. A privileged lady who refused to become somebody's whore because they wanted to invite men, women, or whoever into the marital bed. She didn't want to do that. And so they tried to paint her as what she was trying to avoid. And they did rituals, a lot of them. And now they can't escape it because, why? You earned merit. It's like every time they attack you and you overcome it, you rise and they fall, and it's like it happens. It's like, and they continue to do it, and every time they do it, you rise, and they continue to, and it's like this separation just continues to go. So just keep it on, okay? That's all I can say. Keep it on. You're a gift. You're earning merit. People are talking about it. Your foe is over here doing rituals. They're not able to haunt you. Everything is visible. Everything is seen. Everybody can see what's happening. They're talking about it. This foe, they can't escape this. They're not a creator. They're a destroyer. It's obvious. We got joyfulness on the bottom of the deck. There's a soldier who's joyful. Perhaps that could be the divine masculine. Joyful, cheerful, soldier, sweetheart. Soldier of love. Soldier of love, sweetheart. Sweetheart. Be careful if there's a wedding. There's a falseness here regarding a wedding or something surrounding a wedding. Somebody might try to come in and present themselves as a essential item in your life. Alrighty then. So I'll see you on the next one, everybody. Bye.